All right, we're cooking with grease. All right, y'all. So I did $30,000 last month. Hold on. All right, y'all. So I did $30,000 last month. I'm about to take you guys through the content strategy that I used to get there. So content creation, right? I'm gonna show you guys how we go from content research, so not even making videos, but understanding what we need to make and how we go through the process and how we get to a paying client so that you can have weeks like this. Okay, and that was my it's my biggest week. I did 18.3 that week. Um, but yeah, so the reason that this is so important is because without people, this is a people business, right? You'll hear me say it all the time. You have your offer, you have client acquisition, you have sales, and then you have fulfillment, right? Without any clients, without your client acquisition, you're not going to have clients. Like you cannot have clients without a way of predictably acquiring clients, right? You cannot make money without people, and you will not have people to pay you unless you get really good at client acquisition. That you can do it either through paid ads, which I don't recommend, especially when you first start off, or you can do it through posting content, right? So the first step is to have an ICP. So what is an ICP? So an ICP is an ideal customer profile. So an ICP is your avatar. So, in other words, I'm sure you've heard your niche or it's who you are talking to. So, typically, you want it to be a middle aged person because they have money. You also want to specify what kind of person because if you're not talking to anybody specific, you're not talking to anybody at all, right? So, are you talking to skinny fat men, middle aged professional men? Are you talking to fat middle-aged professional men? Are you talking to moms? Are you talking to dads? Are you talking to parents as a whole, career-driven parents? Right? Whatever your ICP is, you need to understand their pain points and how to speak to them, right? Because every different ICP is going to a majority of ICPs are going to have different pain points, right? I mean, if you have somebody that's overweight, if you have two different ICPs or two different avatars that are overweight, of course they're going to have similar pain points. Um, but you want to understand the pain points of your avatar specifically, right? So if you do have an overweight woman and she's looking to lose weight, you need to understand what she struggles with. What does she struggle with? Is it fitting into clothes, old clothes? Is it not liking what she sees in the mirror? Is it not getting approached at bars? All of these things are things that you need to understand about the people that you're going to be marketing to. And once you understand these things, it allows you to actually market to these people. Because if you don't know what they struggle with, then you don't know how to talk to them. So one method of doing this is going to other coaches that do what you're trying to do, that talk to the same people that you're trying to talk to, and you look at their content and you see what their content looks like. You see what their page looks like, right? You see this dude's bio primed like a motherfucker. You see he has testimonials lined up across the front of his page, um, but you want to structure your content after the content that is working, and there's no better way to do that than to look at somebody else's page that is fucking killing it in the game and mimicking their content, but putting your own spin on it. Because if it works, right? There's no need to reinvent the wheel, right? So next, you need to determine the type of creative you want and how you want to deliver your message, right? So, like I said, you have your pain points. You have what you need to say in order to inflict emotion in your avatar. Now, oops. Now you need to know, or now you need to decide how you're going to convey that to the people that you're talking to, right? Um, so regardless of the type of content, you want to have a hook, you want to have social proof, you want to give value, and then you want to call to action. Um, and we'll break this up into three parts, right? You have a post with a caption, you have a carousel, you have reels. So we'll just kind of go from the top. So post with a caption. Um, so a post with a caption, it can be a couple of different things. It can be lifestyle, um, but the main thing is you want to have either a personal story in the caption, or you want to have some info. You want to have something that people can read and that they can take from it. And then at the end, you want to have some type of call to action, of course. Um, Carousel, this is going to kill it. Actually, um, I'll talk about this because we actually just booked a call from this post specifically, right? You see, I have the Stripe link right here, or not the Stripe link, but the Stripe screenshot, and that is social proof. I'm giving a story about me while I was in college and why I decided to get out of it. I'm talking about people not making as much, specifically teachers, and it's ironic that I called out teachers because I make what teachers make typically in a year, in a month to 2 months. Um, and a teacher actually just commented and asked to sign up to work with me. So like I said earlier, you have you have the social proof, you have the hook, you have um, not as much value, but then a call to action. And what's really important is you have the pain points and the call to action. But this actually just booked us a call, so this shit works. Carousel. So this may not get as much interaction as something like this, but typically the people that read all the way through the carousel are going to be invested, and if they're invested, then the people that interact with this are going to be more likely to buy from you, just because this carousels are very informational. So right here again, I have a Stripe screenshot, and then I have a question, then I have the explanation. Not only is it possible to have weeks like that, not only is it possible you can have weeks like this, right? So it's like, all right, damn. Not only can I make $10,000 a month, I can make 18,000 in a week. So then, if somebody's interested in fitness coaching and possibly pursuing it, they slide, and then they slide, and they get value, and they get value, and they get value, and then once they get to the end, they get to the call to action. And typically, the call to action will have some kind of pain point in it, and then like for me, it's message me scale in order to see if we're a good fit to work together. Um, so you got a post with a caption, then you have carousels, and then you have reels. Now, I want to break reels up into two different types. You have a talking reel, and then you have a cinematic reel. This isn't really cinematic, but um, any kind of reel where it's like not you talking to the camera, I'm gonna just classify that as a cinematic reel. So first we'll go over talking reel. So this can be a talking head reel where you are like really calling out people's pain points. You're putting them on blast, and they feel that through the camera. A lot of people are afraid to post these kinds of videos, and what you guys have to understand is that if you want people to buy from you, to buy your service, to buy your product, these people, they need to relate to you. They need to, and not necessarily relate to you, but they need to connect to you. And the only way for them to really connect to you is to hear your voice, to see your face. Um, so it is imperative that you do these talking reels. Now, the reason I'm making this video in the first place is because one of my buddies said that he struggles with talking reels. So I kind of want to talk through what some of the struggles are and how to deal with that. So a lot of times people feel like what is it? they have not necessarily self-limiting beliefs. Imposter syndrome is what I'm thinking. A lot of times people have imposter syndrome and they feel like they're not qualified, so it's difficult for them to speak with confidence when they're talking to the camera. Again, what you got to understand is that everybody starts somewhere. So even if you aren't as confident when you first start, it is imperative that you just start, because the more you do it, the better you'll become at it, right? But yeah, again, talking head videos, those tend to convert a lot, just because you're calling people out on their bullshit, and you're really drilling in on these pain points. Now, myth busting, that's also a kind of talking reel you can do, where you just kind of talk through fitness myths, and not only explain what the myth is, but then you give people the solution and then a call to action. Just general lifestyle advice, right? This could be the men, the women, the people in general. And this also just makes people relate to you more, and it builds your personal brand. And then you just give some type of value. Well, that's like an overarching message. Just give some type of value in these talking videos. If you see this, I just reposted this. Only one like. What I want you guys to get in your mind though is that everybody. Oh shit! I opened it, messed something up. Everybody thinks, okay, I got one like. 200 people saw this, and this one person could be a $3,000 to $5,000 client. So don't get discouraged when you get one like, two likes, three likes, because those likes, if you understand the process of running an online business, you understand that every single person that interacts with your page could be your next client. Um, the next kind of reel is like a cinematic reel. So this can be clips, so like you working out, or this can be like you driving a car, any kind of like reel of you just doing something, not necessarily you talking, just you doing something, driving a car, walking. And this can be some kind of a myth, right? So you upload the video in a CapCut, and you put the myth, right? So it's like I can't think of a myth right now, but you put whatever you want to say on the video, and then in the caption bust the myth. Lifestyle, like I said, it could be you driving a nice car, and then again words on the screen, and then the answers in the caption, like do this or read below. Or it can be some type of quote or talking head. I posted something the other day, and I was like, I made $9,000 in a day. I knew I would never be an employee again, right? Some people see that. A lot of people see that and like, holy fuck, $9,000 in a day. How do I get started? So that's like a talking head video, and so I'm not saying anything. It's just me walking, but people read that, they have the proof because I post a Stripe on there. Like, okay, yeah, maybe I should do this. Now, all of these things that you're posting on your page, they need to get posted on your story, because when they get posted on your story, they they get views from the story. So when people click on your story and they view like a reel, you get the view on your reel. So it boosts your interaction. But you also want people to see it on your story. That way, if they can click it, and if they see your story, they can go to it and like, comment, etc. But on your story, this is a whole nother ball game. So you want to post these. You want to post this stuff because Instagram is going to push all of these things out into the algorithm. But stories are how you're going to convert your organic audience into paid clients. Now, you do not want your story to just consist of you working out and being naked. You do not want your story to just consist of call to actions. You do not want your story to just consist of quotes. You don't want your story to just consist of lifestyle stuff. Like, you want your story to be a mixture of all of these different things. So the first thing, lifestyle. You want to connect with these people. You're building your personal brand. So you need to be posting lifestyle content. You need to be posting what you do throughout the day. If you spend a lot of time in the gym, then I mean, post that shit. But it doesn't just need to be that. Like, it needs to be you talking to people as you're driving, all of these different things. Take people through your day every couple of hours, check in. Um, Next, testimonials. Every single day, you need to have a testimonial on your page. Every single day, you need to have social proof. People don't care what you can do for yourself. They don't care if you look good. They want to know that you can help them get into the best shape of their lives. This is, no shit, I didn't mean to do that. This is very difficult if you don't know how to do that and you don't have any testimonials, I don't know how to get rid of this. And if you don't have any testimonials, I would urge you to get some. How? By running a free challenge, probably. But um, that's a conversation for another day. But again, like I said, CTAs are testimonials, and then posts, kind of like what I just said earlier, and then CTAs slash polls, right? So this is also going to drive your interaction up, and it's going to have Instagram push your stories and the algorithm when you get more interaction on your stories, right? So you can either do um, like polls or you can do CTAs. You want to get as much interaction as possible with your stories, though. What I like to do is I like to do like a soft CTA in my stories. So I'll post a picture or a video of me in the gym, and I'll do it, but I don't always make it a CTA. That way, it's a little bit more subtle. So what I'll do is I'll be like, "Do you have any? Or did you show up today?" And the option A will be like, "Yeah," like Doug Coach. The next option will be like, "I'm gonna go later." The next option is like, "It's my rest day," and then the last option, if I decide to make it a CTA, will be like, "I want to go to the gym, but I don't know what to do." And I've gotten clients this way. And even if you only get 1 to 2 clients a year off that, if you're selling a 3 to 5K package, I mean that could be, you know, a 10K difference in your income, right? So once, so like I said, these stories, these are what's going to sell. But once you get people to interact with these, or once you get somebody that interacts with either this or this, now, like I said, all of these things are going to go to your story. But once you get any type of interaction, you're going to message everybody, and you have to become a chat assassin. If you want to make money, you have to book calls, and in order to book calls, you have to become good at the DMs. You have to understand that this is a people business, and if you do not understand people, you do not understand your ICP, the things they struggle with. If the conversation is not about them and how you can help them, then they're not going to book a call with you. And if they don't book a call with you, you're not going to help. One, they're probably not going to change, so you're not going to help them. At the end of the day, you have to become good at sales, because when it comes down to something like fitness, a lot of the time, if these people don't get a coach, they're not going to make the change that they need to make. And if they don't make that change, they're going to stay stuck, and they're going to stay stuck because you suck at sales. So in reality, you could be helping these people change their life if you were good at sales, but since you suck and you refuse to work on it, a lot of these people are going to stay obese. They're going to stay skinny fat. They're going to stay unhappy in their body, and it's going to be because you are not getting good at sales, right? So this was a consulting client that she actually just booked the call. This is the call that I just booked from this post right here. Um, but you have to become good at messaging people. You have to get comfortable messaging people. Once you book a sales call, push them to a sales call, you I would urge you to either develop your own script or to get a mentor that has a sales script and can kind of teach you the sales process and how to pre-frame calls, how to structure calls, how to lead like a sales call, discovery, pain points, pitch, closing, etc. Um, but yeah, so from messaging, so from content to messaging to sales call to paying client to where you can have weeks like this, right? Um, and it's I know it's not really that much. A lot of people try to they try to overcomplicate it, and they try to make it seem like you need a VSL, you need some kind of funnel, you need a landing page. You don't need all this shit, right? You need to understand the person that you're talking to. You need to understand how to create content to talk to the people that you're trying to target. You need to understand how to message these people. You need to understand how to lead a sales call, and you need to understand how to how to get paid, or how to collect payment, and then how to fulfill whatever you're selling. It's not as difficult, or it's not as complicated as people make it seem, right? You have an offer that is worth high ticket sales, semi high ticket, 3 to 5K, right? You understand how to get clients. through content, client acquisition, right? Through content / referrals. Um, I would say messaging is right in between client acquisition and sales. And then you have to learn the skill of sales. And then once you learn how to sell, you'll start getting paid, right? If you guys found this valuable, all I ask is that you drop me a subscription. If you just subscribe, drop me a like, comment. It would mean the world. Trying to build this up so I can spend more time on it and give you guys as much free value as possible. If you are looking to get into the online fitness coaching space, um, just DM me the word scale on Instagram at Coach Show Up, and I'll kind of talk to you guys and see if we're a good fit to work together. I do mentor people that are either trying to start or trying to scale their online fitness business. Um, Again, I guarantee you results, and if I don't get you results, I work with you until you do, until you get to 10K months. Um, with that being said, you got to put in the work. But I appreciate you guys again. Thank you guys for listening. And if you have any questions or you have any videos that you would like me to make or to talk about, just shoot me a DM and ask me if I can make a video on this. And I would love to, because if you're struggling with it, the odds are somebody else is struggling with it too. But all right, guys, I appreciate you guys, and peace out.